What's going on, guys? The Fibonacci here from the Trading Decoded Discord. If you're not a member of the Discord, there'll be a link in the description below. You could come join us, try it out for a week. If you like it, by all means, join up. And yeah, uh, it's a Discord that helps out with trading. We try to help everybody out. I usually do weekly chats at least twice a week. Midweek review and end of week review, talk about trade plan, that kind of stuff. Jimmy is in the Discord daily from 9 o'clock to 4 p.m. Talking, doing SPY uh, hours, trading hours. So if it's something that interests you guys, come check us out. And if you're a member of the Discord, the indicators I'm going to talk about today are all free for members. And when you join up the Discord, shoot me a DM, the Fibonacci or FIBs, and I'll explain how to go ahead and get these indicators. So today's video is going to be about the indicators I've been working on. I modified some of them, and I figured I'd just go over what I've done. Basically, I put out an all-in-one indicator. I've changed it a little bit to there's an all-in-one SPY indicator and an all-in-one futures indicator. So if you play futures, it's kind of tailored towards the futures a little bit, and vice versa. If you trade SPY, it's kind of tailored towards the SPY. And then I got a couple other different indicators I want to talk about, but let me get right into it. So this is the futures chart, the ES. So the all-in-one futures, basically when you open it up in inputs, it'll have all the available indicators, so to speak, in this all-in-one right up top to where you could turn it on or off. By default, they're all off. So when you get the indicator and you put it on your chart, it's not going to show anything, because if I put everything on here, it could be a big mess and people will be like, man, that's just too messy. This allows you to pick and choose what you want for to be on. Now sometimes you'll get an error. There might be a red asterisk here, and it might say, I don't know, too many candles or something else. As you can see, it's actually working, but every now and then, because there's so much going on with the indicator, it gets overloaded. You may have to either turn it off, or like if something's turned off here, you can turn it on and it may reload the indicator. So you may have to reload the indicator. But so I'll go over what's going on here. The first thing is show the tick. So when you click on show the tick, what that's going to do is, here it pops up. What happens with that is John Carter from Mastering the Trade, he wrote that book, Mastering the Trade. If you haven't read it, I listened to the audiobook. It's a really good book. And that's where I kind of learned about the tick. Normal movement range for the tick, is plus minus 500-ish level. Once you push to the plus 1,000, minus 1,000, it kind of gets, hey, it's that whatever entity, or SPY obviously, is oversold or overbought. I believe there's a tick for the Qs too. This is more pertaining to the SPY. But anyway, once it hits that plus 1,000 or minus 1,000, you can expect some kind of retracement from that, a bounce. The way I have it set up here is once it hits this, again, the minus 1,000, it's going to say buy tick. How I utilize that would be, as soon as this triggers, I automatically buy a long or a call if I'm in SPY, and all I'm looking for is a really quick scalp. This here, that you can see it fired off on this red candle here, it fired off again on this green candle, but then it retraced pretty good. This isn't the norm. Over here is the norm, you see. So it fires off on this candle here. You kind of can get that little retracement back to the upside. Usually it's in futures, it's roughly a 1 to 2 point move that you can get. But normally what happens is, it fires off, it does a really quick retracement, and then it comes back down. It'll keep going in a direction, especially if it fires off repeatedly, it'll come back down. That's why over here, this is kind of an anomaly, because, it fired off twice, but then actually went to the upside. Because usually, if it has repeated, firing off, it's going to probably continue to the downside, or vice versa. If it says sell the tick, it's going to continue to the upside if it's repeated. Um, but anyway, that's what that's for. I got it off of the idea from, John Carter's Mastering the Trade. And again, you could turn that on or off, whatever you choose. Now, in the morning time frame when the volatility is high, you may see a bunch of these fire off, so I kind of ignore the morning. And then at high news time, whether it's the FOMC or that 10 o'clock candle, sometimes it'll fire it off. So I kind of ignore that area. This here, again, it's noon time, and I don't know what happened here, but anyway, you could have got in there and made some decent money off of that. So that's the tick. To show the orb, what this is, at 9:30 or 8:30 on futures, as you can see, this is set up for the futures, so it's set for 8:30. It's going to plot how I play the 3-minute orb or 5-minute orb. And let me just switch to the 3-minute chart and show you. So what I mean by that is, after this first 3-minute candle prints, this is going to fire off when this next candle breaks, lower or up. Since it broke lower here, obviously it's an orb to the downside. Where it says enter, for me, that's enough of a momentum push to make my entrance. So how I do this is, after this first candle prints, and this orb plots, I will place a buy stop order here at 43, like for example, 43.7950 to the downside. This happened so quick today. I have a video of it because I was showing people how I trade the orb, and I had to switch to the 5-minute. So I missed this entry here. Like I said, I ended up switching to the 5-minute to play. Where's it at? Right here. So, here's the 5-minute candle. It fired off. I set an order here. It bought me in. That 382 is one of my target levels. Once it hit there and started sucking back up, I ended up selling. So that's how I play the orb, real quick, down and dirty. But that's how this indicator utilizes that. It's meant for the 3 or 5-minute. If you choose a different time frame, yes, it can work on that different time frame. For example, if you want to play the 350 candle, because that's usually another candle that's good to play the orb, you would come in here, and under the orb fibs, you would change this area here to 15, I believe it would be more or less 1549. The display study would be 1550 to 1550, 2 or 3. I usually do that on the 1-minute chart. But that's how you'll change that here. So that is that part. The next one is show moving averages. You can click on that, and it's going to show you the moving averages. And if you scroll down here to the moving averages, the way that's set up is there's 4 different moving averages you can have on your chart. The default settings is the 920, because a lot of people in our group will play the 920 strategy. 200, it's default again, because everybody, if it's above the 200, it's calls. If it's below the 200, it's puts. And then the 4th one is actually set up for a VWAP. You can leave that on there, or you can change it. It could go, you could change it to EMA, WMA, HMA. There's different ones you can change it to. And obviously change the length. If the source, if you want to do like high low, you could change it to that. It's all up to you. And if you want to change the time frame here, I'm on currently I'm on a 5-minute chart. and say I want to change the time frame to a 10-minute, you can also do that, but it's not going to be a smooth. So that's going to be this blue line here. It's not going to be as smooth. So if I change that blue line to, we'll say, a 9-minute or a 9, that's going to be the 9 on the 10-minute chart, and you'll see it'll be kind of, choppy. It's not real smooth, but you can get the gist of it on a higher time frame if you wish to on that. Also, well, I'm good. If you don't want that many indicators on your chart or MAs on your chart, what you could do is go into the style section, scroll down to where it says fast MA, slow MA. That's the top two. So that's like the 9, the 20, your third MA, and the fourth MA. If you turn those off, it'll turn them off here on the chart. So that's a way, is say you only want 2 MAs on your chart, you'd come into the style section, scroll down to where it says, again, fast, slow, third, and fourth, and you could turn those off. Say you want the VWAP but not that third MA, you could turn off the third and keep VWAP on there. Again, it's totally up to you. Show MA cross, what this does, I'm going to turn off the third and fourth just so we can explain it. So the show MA cross, its basically main concern is the first two, the fast and slow MAs. It's gonna, the cross of these two MAs, it will plot a triangle. So it's kind of, I guess, delayed a little bit maybe, because obviously the cross happens here on this red candle and it triggers, basically the candle after the actual cross is when it kind of plots. So there's a little bit of a delay in it, but you can get the gist of it. And you can set alerts up also. If you want it to alert you, it'll also alert you. And it also, if you want to do a double cross, it'll show you the double cross with an X. And let's find here. So currently the 9's above the 20. The candle's above the 9. It pushes down, crosses over both the 9 and the 20 and closes below the 20. That signals a double cross, which will be an X, letting you know that, hey, this is a 920 double cross that happened here to the downside. Again, your choice whether you want to leave them on there or not. You could come over here to the style section again and change, an arrow or triangle, whatever you want. You can change it to whatever you want over here also. So let me turn these off. If you're one of those people that like yesterday's, high, low, and close lines, you could just click on that. Show yesterday's high, low, and close. You scroll down here where it says yesterday's levels. You can change the colors. You can change the dash lines, the width of them, the label color, which you'll see probably way over here. So here's the label colors. But it'll plot the high, low, and close of the previous day for you. All right, so since we're on the features chart, the show ticker labels, what this will do is, again, in trading Decoded Discord, we trade the SPY. I trade futures and I trade SPY options, but Jimmy talks all day long from 9 to 4, and he talks about the SPY. He has a SPY chart up. So what I like to do is I'll have these SPY numbers here, the price, and I'm watching the ES chart. So for example, if Jimmy's talking about, we'll just say it's a downside, he's looking for this to drop, and his target might be 436.25. So I can see here on the SPY chart where 430, or on the ES chart where 436.25 is. So I could be like, okay, if he's expecting it to push down, I can play it, off of that using these the SPY numbers here. So that's what this is for. So it's basically, if you trade futures, you can still go in the chat, listen to Jimmy, and it benefits you because you'll have what he's talking about. You can actually visually see it on your chart. and use that to your advantage. So just because you trade futures doesn't mean you shouldn't join the Discord. It also benefits you for that. Show higher time frame candles. You click on this, and if you scroll down to here is your higher time frame candles information. I might have to go in and adjust this a little bit because it should say like higher time frame candles here. So I'll have to go in and fix that to where you can actually see it. But currently, the way it's set up now is on the 1 minute chart, it's going to show you a 5 minute overlay. So let's just switch back to the 1 minute chart. And what I mean by that is, so the normal candles you see is, that's 1 minute. The overlay, which is that rectangle here, or that purple square here, is the 5 minute. So right now I could be watching, the 1 minute chart, and I'm also watching the 5 minute chart. So here, it's a 5 minute double top. So if we switch over to the 5 minute chart, and this is at 4:30-ish. So at 4:30-ish, like right in here, is where it's saying we have a 5 minute double top, these candles here. I mean, it's not precise, exact, so to speak, but it's close enough where you could get the gist of it. Where is it? I was right in here, this area. And as you can see, it closed right here. So yeah, it's a double top, but it's a little bit below there. This here is probably a better example. 407. So let's go to the 5 minute at 407. So 405, 402 right here. These two candles here, as you can see, it's a double top. So it's pretty accurate. The way I utilize it, and it's in another video I talk about, but I use the 1 minute, 5 minute overlays. Now the trick here, what you can do with that is go to your MAs, keep the 920 on there, because that'll show you the 920 of the 1 minute chart. If you go here and turn on the third and fourth and change that to go from, change that to close, you want to change it to MA, change the fourth one to 100, the third one to 45, and that basically gives you the 920 of a 5 minute chart. So with that, you can basically play the 920 on the 1 minute chart and also see the 920 on the 5 minute chart. So you can utilize it that way also, instead of flipping between charts. It just gives you that option to what you can do with that. So that's the higher time frame candles. And then show target lines. What that does is, this here is, I think it's based off the FIB target lines, and it'll basically give you lines on your chart. Jimmy draws lines on his chart, pre-market and futures lines and stuff. If for some reason he doesn't have lines on his chart, you can always come there and add target lines, and it'll plot some lines on your chart to give you, you can see, it kind of channeled in between here. It uses bottom one as a support here, bounced off, it broke below it. It's using it as resistance here. It did break above it, so you can go from line to line. I mean, it's a pretty damn big line, but there's space between the two. But as you can see, it utilizes these lines pretty good too. Not as good as Jimmy's, but pretty decent. So that's if you have no lines on your chart. Come here and it'll plot those lines. Now what this does, this shows SPY target lines. If you scroll down here to the bottom, it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different lines you can plot. And what I mean by that is Jimmy will plot SPY lines on his chart. So if you're a futures player and you want to know what they transfer over to the futures, you could come over here and plot those lines. So we'll say, for example, he says 436.75 is a line. You could plot that here. As long as this show the SPY lines are checked, what's going to happen is it's going to plot right there. It'll plot that line on your chart. So what you could do is, Jimmy plots all his lines pre-market. You can take his SPY lines and transfer them over to the ES chart by utilizing this show the SPY lines. Again, you'll scroll down to the bottom of the input section, and there's 14 different lines you can put in here. So again, it's your option if you want to utilize it. And that's basically it for the all-in-one futures indicator. There's a quick rundown of it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me in the Discord or send me an email. If you're not a member of the Discord and you wish to utilize these indicators, shoot me a DM again, or send me a message to my email, vfibonacci@gmail.com, and I'll let you know what the prices are. I'll just tell you what the prices are. It's basically $10 a month for all the indicators I have, or $50 for a lifetime access, except for this top one here. I'm still working on the triple threat, and I'll talk about that one here in a minute. So that's the all-in-one futures. Let's switch over to the all-in-one SPY indicator. So the all-in-one SPY indicators, you can see, well, let me turn it off. It's, again, nothing on. When you turn it on there, it gives you possibility of the target range, the ATR range of the day. The possibility, range is, $3.07. When you turn on, I'm just going to jump right to it. When you show the target levels here, what that's going to do is that'll plot these target lines, and there's a bunch of them. So same thing, if Jimmy's lines aren't on the chart, or for some reason Jimmy is sick, he wasn't able to plot his lines, you can come in here and hit that. The blue line symbolizes, hey, once it hits that line and goes above, calls, you'll probably want to look for calls, and vice versa. If we hit this red line and go below it, puts are kind of in play. But you can utilize the lines just like Jimmy does, with his lines. This isn't the same as Jimmy's plotted lines. This is just a generic lines that, if you need them, they're pretty useful that you can use. Again, I found compared to Jimmy's lines, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing, but they're a lot more accurate than utilizing these lines. But these lines do give you some form of, something there if for some reason Jimmy's not around and he can't plot his lines. Same thing, the orb fibs. It's the same as I described earlier, except it's preset for 9:30 time frame, which is SPY. Same thing with the yesterday high low close. Higher time frame candles also is the same. This volume profiles added to it, and P Daddy talks about K Victor, so KV 4 coins, I believe it is. And it's the volume profile. You'll hear P Daddy talk a lot about, hey, thin volume up here, heavy volume node. It basically plots that for you. Now, after hours, it doesn't really work as good, this volume profile. So that's why it's not included in the futures chart, because it's not the greatest. And on replay, it doesn't really work too good either. Same thing with the moving averages. It's the same setup as the futures lines. You could pick, there's 4 different ones. There's also a supply and demand area here. So what this does, it'll plot, give you a rough guesstimate, because you hear some people, they trade, hey, this is demand area, this is the supply area. This will plot those for you. The demand area and the supply. As you notice, the center of the supply zones are usually the point of interest and demand zones. So you can watch, like here's a good example. It plotted over here at roughly 1 o'clock, and right before close, it pushed into that demand zone, couldn't break through it, and then bounced out of it. So they're pretty accurate. I don't utilize the demand zones. It's not part of my strategy, but for people who do that, they can add that to their strategy. Also, the swings. Somebody asked in the Discord earlier about swings. So what this does, it'll plot your swing, the highs and lows, so to speak. If it's creating higher highs, it's going to let you know, hey, this is a higher high. If it's a higher low, and vice versa. If it's a lower low, it's going to plot you a lower low. If it's a lower high, it'll be right here, let you know lower high. So if you utilize market structure, you can utilize that highs and lows. It's in this also. Again, everything's turned off at the start. If you, I think it's the targets here, show target info. The show target info, that gives you that box up here. It must be on default, which I'll probably end up, I could go change that to turning it off. Let's see here, yesterday's. Okay, here I actually got them separated, so as you can see, higher time frame candles, it lets you know higher time frame candles. The double top in the conservative line is part of the higher time frame candles, so you can ask me about that later. This stuff down here is for the swing high, I believe. Or no, this here is for the volume profile, where it says show POC. So that's for the volume profile. This ATR length, that's for the lines on the chart. And EMAs, I'm not sure what part of this is, so I'll have to go back and double check. So that's the all-in-one SPY. Slight differences, but they're pretty similar. Right, and next indicator I have is this ADD tick indicator. And what this does, it also includes, the buy the tick. Let's see if there's a sell one. No, I guess not. I'm not sure if there's a sell anywhere. Okay, over here. So you can see over here, it's sell the tick. Here's one of those examples of look how many times it fired off sell. So that tells me that, hey, something's driving this market up, because for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 12 minutes right off the bat, it's pushing this tick was pinned at 1,000 plus. So that tells me, hey, something's driving this market to the upside. We're probably going to see upside movement. That's how I would utilize this here, seeing all that, pushing to the upside. Again, that's part of this indicator here. Up here, it'll show you the ADD and the Qs. You could go in here and change it into input setting. Again, you could turn off the tick. It also has the orb fibs in it also, if you wish to, if you don't have one of the other indicators and you want the orb fibs, it's on here. And it also will show a 15-minute orb. What I mean by the 15-minute orb is, let's see if it's set to SPY. Yeah, it's set to the SPY. So how that is utilized, does it keep popping up? Let's go over here to Tuesday. Traditionally, how the orb is played is, like, normally it's roughly the 15-minute orb. I play 3 and 5 minute. So what this does is it'll plot lines at the 15-minute, the high and low for the first 15 minutes of the day. And then you can utilize those lines and play them. Hey, if we break high and retest, it's going to go back up. We break, we retest, but it's on a red candle. No, we break again, green candle retest, it's going up. You can get in there. So you can play a break and retest, but you can utilize that all day long. Same to the downside. If it breaks it, wait for a retest and take it. That's included in that ADD tick. Again, if you wish to change the tickers to something else, you can. That's fine. But the way it's set up, it's mainly for that ADD tick and cues. Also, the way it's set up, if you look at the inputs here, it says the SMA time frame. So I have it set for the 9:20 crossover on the 1 minute time frame. So currently the bubbles here are set for this time frame. So whatever time frame is beside the ticker on the 1 minute, this is green. The ADD is green. On the 1 minute tick, the tick is actually red. The 1 minute cues, is actually green. So up here now, the time frame's still set for 1 minute, but this means when the 9 is above the 20, the name of it's going to be green. When the 9 is below the 20, that name of the ticker is going to be red. And then if it's kind of like status quo, so to speak, where it's intertwined, it will show white for that. Or no, it won't show white. The tick is the way the tick's set up is if it's below 500, I believe, it'll turn red. If it's above 500, it's green, maybe. I think that's how I have the tick set up. Let's just find out. Go here, replay. Jordan should be green. So yeah. So, the cues are green. The 9's above the 20 on the cues. The 9's above the 20 on the ADD, which it really doesn't matter on the ADD, so, but it's still included in there. So that's why these change colors on that. So that is the ADD tick indicator. Again, that's included. Now this one is from, I'm not even going to talk about it. That's one I personally use. It's basically the Indicator with a visual aspect. If you don't know what the Indicator is, it basically, when all these are green, it's going to plot a green triangle. When all these are red, it's going to plot a red triangle. But I have this here just so I have a visual. I can see, hey, Apple's the only one that's red right now. The Q's are green. So lately, Q's have been driving the SPY, so that kind of gives me a good visual of what they are. The Fibinator, this is kind of like my bread and butter. So the way this is set up is exactly how I play the fibs. It moves them just like I would move if I was drawing the fibs. So for example, before I even go into that, how I used to have to play and draw the fibs was I'd have to hit the fib line here. This is a downtrending day, so I'd start at the top, draw my fib point, 15 minutes into the market. It's right in here. This is the low, so I'd have to draw my lines manually, down. As you can see, it pushed up here and broke above this 100 line. So what I had to do there was I'd have to go into the settings of the fibs and hit reverse. So now it will reverse the fibs. So, the 0 is to the upside. And then when it breaks this 272 area, how I play the fibs is a close above that 272, I would redraw my fibs. So this candle right here closed above the 272. So I would redraw my fib point. That would be my new anchor point. So I'd have to sit there and redraw that. I would do this all day long. And then, I sleep during the day because I work midnight shift. So if I woke up, we'll say at 12 o'clock, these fib lines wouldn't be plotted. I'd have to go back to the beginning of the day and literally, okay, this is how I originally would have plotted the fibs, and try to figure out how I would plot these fibs the whole way up. So, that being said, with this Fibinator indicator here, first off, you can see that the higher time frame candles is included in it. So the higher time frame candles are included in there. And if you wish to do the orb, it's included in there. I also have MAs in here. If you wish to turn on the MAs, you could come in here and turn them on also. And to do that, you obviously click on show moving averages. You can show the crossover and the double cross, and it's going to plot those lines. And the way I have it set up is basically like I explained to you earlier, that the 920 on the 1 minute, and then it's set for 45 and the 100, which is basically the 5 minute 920 is how it's set up. But that's the main thing for this indicator is how it plots the fibs. I have it set to where the first 15 minutes it's going to plot, so you can see it's 9:43, the fibs didn't plot. So at 9:44, roughly, 15 minutes in, it's going to plot the fibs on the close of that last candle of the 9:44. So basically, the first 15 minutes, it's going to plot. It automatically plots whether it's going down or to the upside. As you can see, this is going down, so it draws the fibs automatically to the downside. This is what I love about this indicator. Watch as the price pushes up and closes above that 100, without touching anything, you'll see what happens. So it's pushing up, pushing up. Price closes above that 100 line. It automatically reverses the fibs. So it happened real quick. So like right here, as you can see, the 100's up here. This candle closes above that 100 line. It automatically flips the fib, so I don't have to do anything. Now, another great thing about it is once it closes above this 272, it's going to replot that 0 line to the candle that closes above that 272 line. I'm going to go candle by candle because I'm not sure. I can't remember which one or if any. There might not be any till later on. I'm pretty sure we pushed up. All right. Perfect. So on this candle here. So again, without manually having to go in and redrawing or anything, once a candle closes above that 272, you'll see it replots the anchor points to that candle. So the bottom anchor point didn't move, but that top anchor point moved up to the close of that candle. Same thing, it's not going to move until it closes back above this 272 line. The greatest thing about this is, since I sleep during the day, if I wake up in the middle, we'll just, oh shit, that closes the fib. So we'll say I wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:10 in the afternoon, it's 2:10. If you watch, the fibs are already pre-plotted for that time frame. It already ran through and did everything and moved the fibs to however they needed to move. So when I wake up, I can utilize, because I play off the fib lines, and basically right in here, the 0236 area, I'd be looking for a trade. Excuse me. I would be looking for a trade right here. If we break up, I'd look for a 0 line hit. If we break back to the downside, which, I'd probably draw a line here, since there's, some support right in there. If we break that, I'd look for a 236 hit. And that's how I would play, that's how I utilizes the fibs to play. And this automatically plots it out for me, which is beautiful. So this is kind of, like I said, my bread and butter. It's been a year in the making. I was drawing these fibs for the longest time, and I was like, you know what, it'd be great to have an indicator that pre-plots it. started studying how to do Pine script and everything, and I got to the point where I had it almost done and I couldn't finish it perfectly. And I had to get, the final help to get over that, to where it would flip the fibs for me and replot them, uh, more or less, because the way I had it, it was flipped the wrong way, and it was just frustrating me. So I just got somebody to help me finish it off. But anyway, it's set up perfectly to exactly how I play the fibs. And that's basically the fib namer. Again, this is included in the membership also. So that's the indicators that are all included if you come to the Discord, join the Discord. And these indicators aren't, oh, I'm going to join the Discord just to get these indicators. There's a lot more to the Discord than just these indicators are an afterthought of the Discord. Very good information in there. The main thing of the Discord is from 9 to 4. Jimmy's in there talking about the SPY every day. A lot of educational stuff in there. So if you're thinking about joining the Discord, don't join just because of any type of indicators. Indicators are a dime a dozen. So that's the main indicators. Now the indicator I've been working on, let me switch over to the futures, is, wait, what's going on here? There's Tuesday at 9:30. I'm just gonna replay this to 9:30. That way you don't see a bunch of stuff on the chart. I've always wanted, since I first started trading, I wanted a buy sell indicator. I wanted an indicator that I could say, hey, it tells me when to buy in, whether it's a put or a call, or sell, whether it's a put. I always wanted one, but I couldn't find a good one. They're always based off of a single thing. If this happens, it's going to fire off a buy or sell signal. And they weren't very, I've tried a lot of them. Easy Algo, Lux Algo. I've tried several different ones, and they just didn't do it for me. So I figured, why don't I try to create one myself? And that's where this triple threat came in. The way it's set up, same kind of concept, where I got a lot of the extras are down here that you could turn on and off. Has the orb fibs built in it. That's kind of one of my go-to plays, is those orb. Everything's the same. This triple X, now what this triple X does is when you turn it on, let me turn everything else off. We'll go by. So when you turn the indicator on, hopefully it turns all the other stuff off. It's basically showing, there's a total of 4 MAs you can utilize, but the first 3 MAs, the base settings are 5, 8, and 13. And basically, when the first MA crosses above both of the second and third, it's going to trigger a long or short signal. So if you're familiar with, I believe it's Bill Williams, or the Williams, I don't know what his first name is, Williams, the alligator indicator, it's similar to that. But it's basically when, the first one crosses below both of those, it's going to fire off. Now up here, you can see it crossed the 20 here, and then it crossed the 13 up here, so that's why it fired off that signal up here, because it had to cross both of them. So hence the name triple threat, triple X. You can turn on and off, just like any of the other stuff. I'll talk about the short buy and short long trades. Trend lines, I tried to put a trend line indicator in here, to where it'll draw. I'm not good at drawing trend lines. This kind of draws trend lines by its own automatically, but it's not the greatest because it doesn't work perfectly. As you can see, there's no trend lines drawn here. So it's not, the perfect thing for the trend line use. The show ticker is the same thing as the all-in-one futures. It'll show the SPY ticker price because I utilize this indicator here when I'm trading the futures, and I want that on there. It also has a supply and demand zone area, like the all-in-one SPY indicator has, so it has that included in it. Again, there's a lot of stuff loaded up. As you can see, it plots that. It also has the volume profile of the all-in-one SPY that's included in there, and it's the same concept of KV for coins. It'll plot that volume profile. Again, it sucks in replay. As you can see, I have to shrink it up a lot, but in real time, it works perfect in real time. The white line is the POC of that. SPY targets. This will plot again if I wanted to lines on my chart, so to speak, for targets. Or no, this SPY target is actually scroll down here, and it's kind of like where you could plot Jimmy's lines, but I use them to plot my OPR lines, and the OPR is a play I utilize. It's part of my other trade plan, but you plot these lines here, and it basically is going to plot them on the chart like this. There's Tuesday. I don't have Tuesday's lines on here. There's Monday. Where the hell's Tuesday's on? That can't be it. Right here it is. It might be it. No. No, they should have been below us. So roughly, it'll, I take, when I do the OPR, I chart it on SPY, and I transpose, or whatever word, big word you want to use. I put those lines on the futures chart here, utilizing that, the SPY targets, which you put in, you scroll down, and you put them in here to plot them. And then this Super BB, it is a Bollinger Band with some extra stuff added to it. And when it plots, you'll see. So there's a lot going on here. So it basically is Bollinger Bands. And it gives you buy and sell signals, or long and short. So for example, this red or green square, that's basically saying, hey, go long here. If it's red, it's saying, this is a good short to go short here. Just like anything, nothing's 100%, but it's just something you can utilize, and that's included in here. But the whole gist of this indicator is the buy and sell setting here. Like I said, I've always wanted an indicator that to tell me when to buy in and when to go long and when to go short. So what this does, it does exactly that. But it's not based off of just one thing. There is, I believe, 6 or 7 different things that will fire off this buy-sell confluences, so to speak. It just doesn't have one thing and then it's going to fire off a long or short signal. There's several different confluences to happen before it fires off a long or a short signal. It'll tell you, where to put your stop loss. You can see these lines here. So if this was the short, these green lines here are basically profit targets, which it didn't hit. It pulled up and hit this short or stop loss. A lot of buy sell indicators repaint. So if, like Lux, for example, if this was a Lux indicator, it would look like they're all winners because it repaints. This doesn't repaint. If it's a loser, it stays a loser. Like here, it tells you to go short, that was a loser. Here, it tells you to go long, it hit the profit target, you could have made money on that. Same here, this short, it was a losing trade, this told you to go long, that was a really good long trade. You could have gone in. So, again, nothing's 100%, and this going by just these indicators, are you going to make money? You may make some money, and you're going to lose money. You may lose money. Nothing's 100%. You can adjust the settings here, the sensitivity. There's two different things. There's a sensitivity and a multiplier. And you can be able to mess with these settings to decide which. I kind of find the 710 seems to be a decent. It seems that I win more than losing with it set at 710. Now there's presets, so if you're if you want to scalp, you could turn it to the scalping, and it will kind of show you it'll preset. Can let it load up here in a minute. Like I said, there's a lot going on in the indicator. It takes it a while. So this is in scalp mode. You can see, okay, there's a long, over here it's a long, it would have stopped out. Nothing, here's a long, it would have stopped out. Long. Damn, where's the short? Surely it's just not set for long. Hell, maybe it is. I might have to look at that. I might have it just set for longs on there. That'll kind of suck. I don't think I have it. Yeah, it's set for short and long trades. And then if you go over here to momentum, watch, that's probably going to flip it to like just short trades or something. Well, I'm glad I seen that obviously there's something wrong. It should fire off. Okay, that one's firing. This is what it should do. It should fire off long and short signals. So I'll have to go back and look at the scalp settings and see why it's not firing short signals. And then for a swing trader, put on swing, and there's presets for that. Different confluences will signal a long or short trade also. But I just found, for me, the 710 seems to be a good basis for it to utilize. It could be used for SPY, basically any ticker it could be utilized for. But that's the gist of the triple X. It kind of gives you that information, trades and stuff. And that's it for the indicators. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can obviously post them in the comment section below. Again, if you're not a member of the Discord, you're more than welcome to come join us. It's free for a week. If you like what you see, you can always join us on a longer stint. But again, you're more than welcome to come check us out. These indicators, like this triple threat, isn't available. I'm still obviously working on it. As you can see, I just realized that the scalp is only showing long trades, so I have to go back and figure out what's going on there and modify it. But all the other indicators are included in your Discord, or if you join the Discord, or if you're not a member of the Discord and you just want these indicators, again, send me an email, and I will, we can get together. And again, it's roughly $10 a month if you don't want to pay up one-time fee, or it's $50 for lifetime access to any updates and all that kind of stuff for any of those indicators that I've shown you. Again, except for the triple threat, because it's not out yet. I gotta modify it and fix it. So that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully, this explains what the indicators are, how to utilize them. I have different videos on when you become a member on how to actually get access to them. You can always, again, DM me to get access if you're confused on how to do that. Other than that, if you have any questions, again, shoot them in the comments below or send me an email. If you're a member of the Discord, you can shoot me a message on Discord. Again, it's the Fibonacci. My email is thefibonacci@gmail.com. If you want to send me an email also. Other than that, guys, good luck trading, and hopefully we'll see you in the Discord. Y'all have a good one.